Have you ever thought uh, that being an entrepreneur was only for that special group of superheroes? Maybe. In this video, we're going to break down what qualities, what character traits make up a successful entrepreneur, and you might be surprised to find out if you make the cut or not. In fact, I'm going to share 15 signs that you might be an entrepreneur and 7 signs that you're not cut out to be an entrepreneur, probably ever. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, how many of you have thought of yourselves as an entrepreneur, or maybe you're wondering if you are? I'm gonna flip up my hair here for just a minute. um, yeah. How many of you have just kind of wondered that? Oops, I got tech issues going on here for just a minute, you guys. Hold on. Um, yeah. So we're going to talk about this today. This whole concept of you might be an entrepreneur if, you know, we'll see. Um, so if you're watching after the live is over, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave some comments, questions. I'll be back to answer those, respond to those. Give me some love. It helps us to engage here as a community. Let me make sure that you guys can see and hear me okay. Yes, yes, thumbs up. Awesome. Now, today we are going to be from the 9 to 5. We're going to be free from working on for someone else's dream. We're going to be free to fail, free to dream, free to love your work, free to embrace new ideas, and free to build your own dream. Yeah? Okay, so this topic, who is wanting access to today's show notes after we've talked about, introduced this topic? Yes, free to love your work. Yes, and free to embrace new ideas. Okay, so if that's you and you want to be able to have access to today's show notes, I just give me the word salesy below and I'll make sure you get them. Because it's interesting, or whether you are an entrepreneur that is working in direct sales, or whether you're an entrepreneur that builds businesses and moves on, whether you're an entrepreneur that does all kinds of other things, at some point you have to be able to sell something, and it may just be selling yourself. So we're gonna shout those words salesy below, and I'll make sure that you get those. Now, if you have a friend that you may think may be entrepreneurial or is entrepreneurial, go ahead and sprinkle this to them. Don't keep this information to yourself. Today I have a extra bonus gift for those of you who choose to do that. So when you shout the word salesy below, you'll have an opportunity to be able to sprinkle this to other people. And when you choose to do that, I have a special gift for those of you. And if this topic resonates with you, just hit those buttons and let me know how you feel about them. I bet you have a few friends who could benefit from this. And so if you want to take a moment to tell them about it, I want you to go ahead and do that. Okay? I'm on a new computer today that I'm not always used to being on. And so for some reason, I'm a little scattered with where everything is. You ever do that? And man, my chai tea is rocking today. I've got chai in here, and then I've got, what else do I have in here? Oh, I have a drop of cinnamon bark, which I love. It has a natural sweetness to it, so it just gives a little tinge of sweetness. I love it. All right, now, if we My name is Amy Miller. I am a wellness advocate and a business coach that helps fellow SLPs and therapists in private practice make a bigger impact in the lives of their patients and set their business apart from all the others and provide patients with solutions that address issues rather than just putting Band-Aids on problems. And we do this using our signature Spark method via our growth mindset coaching. And today is Free Friday, our weekly series on Fridays to experience life more fully and more abundantly. Bonus if we can do this in natural ways. Now, we love on Free Friday here, we love to learn out loud. And so when we learn out loud on the broadcast, we use the hashtag Free Friday. And we use that to explain whatever new idea we want to hold on to, something we want to take away. And so throughout the live today, even if you're watching after the live is over, anytime you hear something that's really valuable to you, a new idea or nugget that you want to hold, aha moment, type in hashtag Free Friday and then share that tip that you're going to implement because we can learn together. Now, sometimes you hear stories about people who are going out on their own and making a difference in the world. And other times you see friends selling things online and wish that you had a way to create an income, but you don't like being salesy. You start thinking to yourself that you just don't have what it takes. But I'm here to tell you to not listen to that voice in your head and instead let's get an objective standard that we can use to measure our potential success. Good? Yes. So if you want to know if you've got what it takes to make it running your own business, let me know in the comments if you are ready and we will dive in. Well, I moved this here for just a minute. Oh, that's worse. That is no good. I'm playing around with this here. I'm going to see one more place. Let's see how it goes here. Pseudo okay. It's a little bit better. Blinding, but a little better. Okay, maybe that's better. I don't know. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Okay. So so here are some signs that you might be an entrepreneur. Are you guys ready for this? You used to sell things as a kid. Yeah, I actually did. In my buggy, All's baby buggy, I would sell pine cones and holly berries from my backyard around the neighborhood. Not necessarily because I wanted to, but because I knew that I could have extra money. Another sign is the idea of a 9-to-5 totally turns you off. I actually told my dad growing up that I was going to find a job that was my hours were 10 to 4, and he used to laugh at me. You love new ideas, or you dislike the traditional educational system. You love independence, or you feel compelled to help others. You want to be a part of a team. You're hungry for greater opportunity. You crave flexibility and spontaneity. You love growth. You want to create a lasting legacy. You see opportunities where others see problems. You're willing to take risks. You're willing to work more hours for yourself than for someone else. So if you can say yes to any of these statements, or even especially if you score in the majority, you might be an entrepreneur. Now, what about some signs that you are not cut out to be an entrepreneur? Are you ready for some of those? If so, tell me below and we'll dive into those. So, sign number 1, multiple failures without any success scares you. You think it's a path to quick money. You're a procrastinator. You don't know how to create a marketing strategy. You can't think of any problems to solve. You make a lot of plans but don't take action. You get along with everyone. So I know some of those are kind of mulling around in your head and you're kind of like, interesting, right? Those are some signs. Now, before we go a little bit further, let's doTERRAfy this a bit, shall we? Just a little bit. So grab your oil. I'm going to grab my favorite, jasmine. Yes, haven't added this morning, so I'm going to put it on. Let's grab an oil. Let's add in the oils here, the oil factor. So let's identify the signs that you might be an oilpreneur okay? So let's identify those signs. You choose natural health as your first option. You feel called to be a natural solutions provider. You frequently share the benefits the oils have given you or your family. You panic if you leave your oil at home. No way, because I've got them on the go or on the go, right? You're open to taking control of your financial health. You have oils with you almost at all times. Yes, you're known as the neighborhood witch doctor. Or the snake oils man or woman. Or if Terra BOGO week is a bigger celebration than anniversary or your child's birthday. Or your favorite quote is, I've got an oil for that. Okay, so what do you think? Are you an oilpreneur? Any of those sound like you? Now, I know what you're thinking. Right now, you think you're somewhere in the middle, right? You feel like there are some things about that first group that resonate, and there are a few parts of the second group that some people might use to describe you too. So what do you do about being stuck in the middle? And when I think about this, it takes me back about 7 years ago. And yeah, and Jim and I had a few conversations about whether or not we were going to try to take a leap and start a business of our own. And we were in a place where we were at a ceiling with our income. There was no way to achieve any more income coming into our home, yet we had greater expenses going from 1 to 3 kids suddenly, unexpectedly. And so it's an understatement to say that we had some concerns. Jim had a busy job and we had young kids. Noah was 3, Asher and Micah were under a year. And if I looked at us at that time and then looked at the list we just went through, I'm not completely sure that we would have said we were entrepreneurs. In fact, if I'm completely honest, between me and Jim, we check off every one of the not entrepreneur boxes. It's honestly a little comical, but one thing that we do have is a desire to help people and a dream of changing our lives. Now, by God's amazing grace and with the help of a business plan and some amazing business coaches along the way. Thank you, Christella. Yes, I'll be sharing that info with you for sure. We have been able to have a 7-year-old company now that has served thousands of people across the globe. Now, how did we make it? Well, to be honest, doTERRA has been the perfect blend of all those things you want as an entrepreneur, but all the things you need if you don't feel like one, if that makes sense. We always tell people that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Our company has a built-in support network. And what that means plans for you that provide you with the support and accountability you need and the freedom you've been looking for. And if you want to know more about starting a business of your own, I'm going to ask you to take baby step and reach out to me. This isn't that you're agreeing that you're going to start a business or that you're going to host a class or that you are an entrepreneur. All it is you're saying that you want to know more. You want to dive into this a little bit more. And I had a friend who was just saying, Susan, on over on my personal page, she was like, I'm a great starter, but I'm not a closer. I don't finish what I'm starting. And I think it's interesting because the more that you dive into your own business and learning more about yourself, you realize that you're not a well-rounded person. You may have some of those signs that should check off some of those boxes in either one of those groups, but you can surround yourself with people who create a more well-rounded community, a more well-rounded team that solve some of those things that that maybe you don't have strengths in. And so I love also that aspect. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and sticking around. I'm about to sign off here. I really love being here with you guys and helping your family simplify your life with 3 life essentials. You are so worth the investment. You're so worth the investment. You guys have a great weekend. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.